David Benavidez is a master at using his opponent's momentum against them. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some examples of the various techniques he uses to deflect and redirect said momentum to his advantage. Getting right into it with this first clip, we see that Angulo is stepping in as he loads up a big lead hand punch. Benavidez is going to defend with a technique that I call rolling with the punch. At this point, he has his rear hand at the corner of his mouth and that same elbow holstered at his hip. Just as the punch is beginning to land, David raises his rear hand from the corner of his mouth to his temple. This upward movement helps the punch to ramp up and over his guard, while simultaneously he brings his elbow across from his hip to his midline by squaring his hips and shoulders. This lateral motion causes the punch to further be redirected to the inside, but also takes some of the sting off of the punch by lengthening the moment of impact. Again, we see that he uses the lateral motion generated by squaring his shoulders not only to bring the elbow and forearm across to deflect, but to load his own lead hand punch. From another angle, we see just how much Angulo's punch was redirected by Benavidez simply bringing that elbow across from the hip to the midline. It's also worth noting that as Angulo is throwing that last overhand left, Benavidez takes the opportunity of his landed right hand to control the head and redirect his momentum towards the ropes. Here David shows his ability to switch hit. As Angulo comes forward, he crosses over David's midline, and instead of turning to face him with, say, a lead foot pivot, he simply begins throwing from southpaw, seeing as Angulo is now closer to his right hip and shoulder than his left. This is a unique way of switching stances that most fighters neglect to use. It's extremely energy efficient, seeing as the opponent is doing most of the work for you by crossing over your midline. One of my favorite channels, called The Modern Martial Artist, has a great video about Marvin Hagler's switch hitting ability, and he goes in depth about that particular technique. If you check it out, let him know I sent you. This next technique is a favorite of Artur Beterbiev's. As Angulo is coming off of the ropes, David throws a lead hook in order to force Angulo towards his right hand, while simultaneously he's stepping backwards with his left foot, switching him into a southpaw stance, where then he throws a lead hand variation of a hook or an uppercut. This last clip truly demonstrates not only how he uses his opponent's momentum against them, but just how talented David actually is. Angulo lunges forward with a big lead hook, and in response David pulls by stepping back with his rear foot and again squaring his shoulders. But just as his lead foot leaves the ground to recover his stance, he chooses to bring it a full stance length as opposed to an equally length step to the first. This allows him to reset his foot at a 90-degree angle to Angulo, but before either foot even touches the ground, he's already landing a lead uppercut to the head. The timing and agility it takes to pull off something like that is a true mark of talent. I wanted to make this video because I really believe that it's important to deflect punches as often as possible as opposed to trying to take them on the guard. If you can't make it miss entirely, at least try to deflect it. Oftentimes the ricochet effect of their punch being deflected off of your guard will provide a great opportunity to use their momentum against them. Another great place to use your opponent's momentum against them is on the inside during the clinch. When they push on you, you pull. When they pull on you, you push to avoid opposing forces. I've got a great drill that practices exactly that, called the push me, push you drill. Let me know in the comments if you guys would be interested in me breaking down that drill and making it my next video. I really appreciate the support. Be sure to like, comment, and share for the algorithm, and subscribe for more future uploads. Peace, guys.